Hello, everybody. Welcome to Just Stop It.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to Just Stop It. I'm your host, producer, and we wear many hats up in here. We welcome you to the Just Stop It show tonight, and we got a good one for you tonight. It is March already. We heard that March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. But that's April. That's next month. So here we are in the month of March. Moving forward, we got a lot of great things going for us in the month of March 2024. And we've got our hot spot to the show tonight. Our so opulent one, our Shannon Grace Chappelle, our very own. Hey, Shannon. All right now. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And happy again to everybody, all the women around the world today. It was actually Women's International Day a couple of days ago. But we're still celebrating Women's History Month. So we are celebrating our women all day, every
Yes.
day, not just this month, but on a day-to-day basis. Glad to see you, Shannon.
Glad to see you too. How are you?
Absolutely glad to be seen. And we've got
Yep.
we've got our Trayvon, our Trey Wiz in the house tonight. That apple on from the tree of one
Hey.
opulent one,
Hey,
Shannon.
everybody.
Hey.
Trayvon,
What's up, y'all?
our media producer.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely
Hot
in the
take
house.
on.
Hey, mommy.
We-
What's up? How y'all feeling? How y'all doing?
Good.
Absolutely. We good.
Good.
We good today. We good.
That's good.
We're still out here advocating for good mental health.
As
And
you know. Hmm.
listen, we have so much to celebrate. We were a little bit under. We had a little break last Sunday, and here we are,
Mhm.
fortified, rejuvenated, and everything. Sometimes you need that break so you can, just restore and recover. So here we are, restoring and
Mhm.
recovering. And before we
Yes.
move on, just want to share a friendly disclaimer. The information in our videos is not intended nor implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. All
Mhm.
content, including text, graphics, images, videos, and information contained is for general information purposes only and does not replace a consultation with your very own doctor or health professional medical team. In a
Absolutely.
nutshell, we are sharing information that is pertinent to your ongoing wellness from your feet up, from your head to your feet.
Mhm.
So continue to seek medical professional for your mental wellness, your physical wellness, your spiritual wellness. It all matters. You matter to us and we matter. All right. So here we are tonight, this Sunday night. Oh my God. And also happy daylight savings time to us.
Yeah, time is rolling back, unfortunately.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, do we get is that good? We get more time, less time? What are we doing?
I don't know. If you're not on point with what you're
Yeah.
doing, it kind of don't matter. So as long as you got a formula, whether the time go
True.
back or go forward, I think you'll be all
Exactly.
right.
I
You
think
should
Yeah.
be
we'll
all
be
right.
okay too, as long as we have a plan, a formula, and we'll be able to deal with it. I heard that we were supposed to stay with daylight savings time. We weren't going to go back.
Mhm.
We
I
weren't
heard
going to
that
go back
too.
to before. So anyway, let's see what can happen.
Yeah.
You know how
Right
the
there.
government is. Let's see what can happen. Let's see if it works. For some people, daylight savings time is a plus, and for some, it's like a no
Yeah.
no. But
Yeah.
let's see what happens and how it affects our emotional health as well, because some people really have a hard time with it emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
But we're here for you. For those who had a little hard time with the switch, we're here for you today. Because it's really the just stop it mind shift. We're about the just
Yeah.
stop it mind shift, helping you to move forward and be the best phenomenal you. So here we are tonight, from dress up to step up. The roles that
Mm-hmm.
women play. We wear so many hats, shoes,
Shout
coats,
out to
all
Women's
sorts.
History.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
This is Women's History Month, and we are changing history. By no means do I count myself an expert in all of this, as the quote. This is from the scripture, but I've got my eyes on the goal. We have our eyes on the goal. The goal is wellness.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is wholeness. The goal is making new history, and we need our counterparts. We need our males. We need our sons. We need our brothers, our uncles, our grandfathers, our dads. We need our local community leaders. We need everybody on board. So here we are, stepping up and changing women's history. So yeah, and we're gonna talk about the folks who are trailblazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all trailblazers in my mind.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I know that's
I
right.
really do. Yeah, I
We
think we all
are.
trailblazers. Um, because we're changing things on a day-to-day basis, and we're changing the way that we think. The mind shift
Mm-hmm.
is definitely on point. The thing is, who we working with, to help us
Mm-hmm.
change, who we working with to help us shift. And we working with some great women, whose roles have changed from era to era, Generation Z, X, Alpha, all
Yeah.
these great women and men who are about it, who are promoting accountability and support for women in history. This is what we're talking about tonight: promoting
Mm-hmm.
accountability for those who we are honoring, those who promote accountability and support, and who have really changed stuff and still changing it. We're recognizing and uplifting women who have held leadership positions in so many different fields. And just not just Women's History Month, but just finding out who these women are, and knowing that we have been in how our roles have changed really it's highly motivating. We may have We've come a long way, to tell you the truth. Women have come a long way in the roles we played in leadership,
Hmm.
um and our
Yeah.
expectations, what we expect. So this is why we talk about from dress up to step up, highlighting the journey of how of expectations and how we have really become
Mm-hmm.
empowered, and who we with.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just been, oh my God. I want to talk about the people in my family. I want to talk about my friends. I want to talk about my community leaders. I mean, I have so many people in
Mm-hmm.
mind to share with our listeners tonight. And listeners, please share with us. I know y'all got some folks that you want to honor, that you want to, highlight and bring awareness to and just continue to honor them and uplift them,
Yeah.
give them their flowers while they're here. So who's the trailblazers in that come to mind? JTI.
Um,
Mm.
Who the
well,
trailblazers?
mm, I would say, well, I mentioned the people that were I'm sorry, trailblazers to me. So I'll reiterate on those people. One of those people being Margaret Gray. One of
Absolutely,
my
Margaret.
main supporters outside of the show.
Yeah.
If my mom wasn't
Yeah,
someone that was on the show with me, I would say my mom, but she's already right here, so the support is
exactly.
evident. I
Absolutely.
feel like my
Mm-hmm.
aunt, you know, her allowing me the space and the time to have brought myself out of the situations I was in when I moved to this
Yes,
area. So I
yes.
gotta
Mm-hmm.
highlight her. All the positive black moms that I know, all moms, but that we talking to our people. So all the positive black moms that I know that are doing the thing, they're doing their job. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to be was supposed to be
Yeah.
doing. So I would say those people. One thing I did do is insert a bunch of new women's history facts. So if
I
anybody
love
happens to
it.
be watching the show and reading the bottom, you'll see different facts that I had in it.
Yes.
First, it was Black history, but now it's just women's history. And I
Mm-hmm.
understand that you want to highlight some of the males that um, had influence, on the
Yes.
success and the steps it took for some of these women to get some of those things done. Because
Exactly.
and especially in those eras back then, I see how they were limited in um, action. As for
Mm-hmm.
you being just a woman in general, limited you with what you were able to say and the spaces you were able to walk in. Like the person you brought up, mommy, the I forgot her name with Hidden Figures, the lady who
Yes.
Yeah.
made the whole formula
Yes.
to be able to
Captain
exactly.
Johnson.
So she needed exactly. So she had men around her. But me personally, I'm going to give all the glory to the women because y'all don't have too many times where it's all about y'all. So if Professor,
Yeah.
if you got some people, that you knew that had some, that helped out with some things, then
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But me, I'm giving all
Yeah.
the glory to the women. So yeah, my grandmother
Understood.
wanted to shout her
Understood.
out, wanted to shout out my aunt. Let me reiterate on my cousin again. She got accepted to Hampton University, Anaya.
All
So,
right. All
shout out
right.
to
Yes.
All
her. The ones that I
right.
know that are
Yes.
doing it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mhm.
exactly.
Yes.
What about y'all?
Yes. We
So
often,
amazing.
we often say a lot that, and the men that help the
Hey
women,
Molly. Hey
you know,
Kenneth.
hey,
Hey
but you
Molly and
know what?
Kenneth. Yeah.
That there being a long time ago where, the definition of what made a woman was, really kind of was just domestic, or her ability to raise children, that type of
Hmm.
thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
um I'm not saying that men weren't a part of helping us get to where we are, but a lot of
Right.
times it wasn't.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
It was
Percentage of it.
fighting against that because you were only supposed to have been X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. That's the
So
truth.
we had to doubly prove to the world and to the men that we were more
Exactly.
capable of just doing one thing. And that's no knock to someone that's a housewife or stay at home mom or anything like
Very
that at
true.
all.
Very
That's not
true.
Right.
what I'm
Yeah.
Right.
saying.
But that's how it was. That's really how it
But
was. Yeah.
but automatically assuming that you're a woman, you were weak.
Yeah.
And that's not true.
Right.
Exactly.
Mentally, academically, you don't know anything. And a
Right.
lot of things we weren't allowed to do. Vote
Hmm.
Yeah.
up to a certain time. We weren't allowed to, make any major decisions. And I think at one point I had read or had saw where, we couldn't even have bank accounts without the
Yeah.
support of our husband or a man's
Exactly.
backing. So
Exactly.
we have become very far, we're very far in having to single-handedly
Yeah.
prove ourselves to say
Exactly.
that's not the case.
Hey Joy
Yeah.
Joy.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of hard to say it respectfully because I don't want to say, we didn't have, supportive husbands or supportive family
Hmm.
members that were male.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But a
Well,
lot
that's
of
how it
times,
was in history.
yeah,
Yeah, it was.
a lot of times. So we're more capable, and we've had to doubly prove ourselves in
Exactly.
education.
Exactly.
Um, and then if you were a person of color, specifically, you had to doubly prove yourself
Hmm.
Exactly.
that you weren't X, Y, and Z. So I appreciate, the strength of women, and not only sometimes having to juggle both a
Yeah.
career academically or whatever we wanted to be involved in, and
Hmm.
in some cases still
Yeah.
being home and taking care of children,
Exactly.
taking care of your home. We do it all.
Exactly.
We do
Exactly.
all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you write down, seriously write down. I used to tell people to do this when they were writing their resumes.
Uh-huh.
Um, write down everything that you've ever done. I don't care if you've done it one time. If you've had to
Exactly.
show somebody, if you had to show somebody you are a trainer, you
Right.
Right.
know, if you had to, fix something, there's a name for that.
Right.
Right.
You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
so
Yeah, we wear so many
we
hats. Yeah.
so many hats. You hit the nail right on the head. We
Mhm.
wear so
Mhm.
many hats and
Mhm.
maintaining so many different things. So I
What's
Yeah.
want to
up,
give a
Malik?
prop. I want to give a prop. I want to give props to that dynamic as
Exactly.
Exactly.
well,
One
because
thing I
Exactly.
want to do, one thing I want to
mhm.
do real quick is shout out to those that are watching. Shout out to
Yes.
Absolutely.
Molly Robinson. Shout out to Kenneth Clark. My
Hey.
friend,
Yes.
I think this person, which is Big Mitchum on YouTube. I'm not used to that name. I'm not sure if it's Brian or one of my other, friends, coworkers that I
Hmm.
sent it to.
Okay.
Joy Joy is in the
Okay.
building. Shout out to Malik Bay. I know Malik Bay from Althea
Yep.
McFarland's page,
Hey.
so the Morning Mac show. That's where I know him from. Y'all already know Kenneth.
Hmm.
Y'all already know about Molly. I speak on them a lot, but
Absolutely.
thank y'all for
Wow.
being, for tuning in for a minute. I appreciate
You
that.
guys are awesome. You guys are absolutely awesome. Ari
Yes.
was
Mm.
also asking, can she join us on YouTube?
Yeah, of course, you
Yes,
Yeah.
and
can.
I
If you want,
absolutely.
I can
So yeah, we
send.
thank you for everybody.
Okay. Did she saying that she wanted to join in, or she's saying that she wanted to watch the show
Uh,
on YouTube?
I think she said she wanted to watch. I think she said, let me just get to
Because
it.
Joy Joy
She
is in
was
the comments.
asking, all right, Joy Joy.
Yeah, Joy Joy's
She was
already in the comments. I don't know if she wanted
asking,
to.
Hmm.
will it be on YouTube? She said she'll join us on YouTube.
Yeah, if she's talking about actually getting on the panel, that's a link that I can send to her directly. So if I can hop off of here and send her the link and then come back on, that's
Well,
completely up to her.
I sent that was the link you shared with me, right? It's the
Yeah,
same. Yeah,
yeah, the
I
studio
shared
link.
it with her. The studio link. I shared it with
Okay.
her. I guess it's so good that we are across so many different platforms, and we just appreciate you guys just joining us from whatever platform. It's just amazing. It shows that you really are about it, accountability and support in the journey of women in history, and not just historically, presently. You guys we're in the moment, and COVID taught us that, how to be in the
Hmm.
moment, and we thank you for being there in the moment and forthcoming. This
Yeah.
is phenomenal. Oh my God, this is
And
so
shout
good.
out to
you
Brian. That
know
actually is my friend Brian. So shout out
all
to
right,
Brian.
Brian.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you for
Brian,
stopping by,
thank
man.
you so
Appreciate it.
much.
Hmm.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Molly.
Hey.
Thank you, Joy Joy. Thank you, Kenneth, Reverend
Hmm.
Dr. Kenneth. Thank you so much. And everybody who's coming through, listen, I often say it, and I think I didn't even say it in the last show that we had, but again, know that we love you like no other, as God does. That makes a big difference, because that means the love is pure, the love is genuine and caring and forthgoing. It's always on the good vibe tip, regardless.
Yeah. That's how we try to keep
'Cause
it.
exactly, regardless. So, this is just like sheer good vibes tonight and
Hmm.
moving forward in the week. So yeah, so we have so many people, just like we were saying that we wear so many hats, and we have a whole heap of responsibilities so many
Yes.
times, and that's been the history part of it. That's been the
Oh
deep
yeah.
end of the pool of it throughout history. We didn't have a lot of a voice. We didn't have much of a voice at one time.
Hmm.
It reminds me, I don't know, I'm just throwing this in there.
Go ahead.
um
You good? Go ahead.
the Hello Kitty icon. In my mind, the Hello
Hmm.
Kitty icon, a lot of women um associate, they like the character. Our young women, our young alphas love the
Mhm.
character Hello Kitty. But there's something about Hello Kitty, in my mind, the character has no mouth. To
No, it
me,
doesn't.
it doesn't have. When you look at it, somebody just pull it up.
I know.
Hello
I
Kitty.
know.
When you look at it, Hello Kitty, the character, she has no mouth. Of course, cats have a what? They have a mouth, they have whiskers. But in my mind, it's saying silently that the female's voice is not completely heard. She's seen, but not heard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying,
Hmm.
family, take a look at that.
Hmm.
I'm a stickler I'm a stickler on subliminal messages. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, and you
Because it
know
is a
how that
thing.
goes.
It is a thing.
It is, it really
Hmm.
is, and this and it can quietly silence us as women. It can quietly silence our younger women, and particularly
Mm-hmm.
our alpha young women, and
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know, our little girls, because that's where it starts. Our little girls, our little boys, that's where it starts. And understanding the voice means something. We haven't always had this amazing voice that we have,
Hmm.
meaning the platforms and the association
Yes.
with those platforms to say what we mean and mean what we say and do
Hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
we do effectively. We haven't always had that. We've died so many times trying to create and
Yes.
make new history. And here we are. Not to say it won't happen, but we have a safer environment. We have the ability to create a safer environment, to put down the message and to make our voices heard. So I'm just saying, with Hello Kitty as an example, it has to
Mm-hmm.
change because we do promote accountability and support, and it has to become more visible. Our young women have to be more aware on how their voices are represented in this society. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
You're right
you
about
Yes.
know,
that.
because if we're talking about accountability and the roles and support and the roles that we play as women, it's going to switch up on a regular. And you know, nine times
Shoot.
out of ten, some people may say, I'm with you, and then after a while they're not. And sometimes it may be our male counterparts, or it could be our females, our
Mm-hmm.
own fellow women. The thing is, we got to be ready. The thing is, we want to be on point when it comes to promoting accountability and support, and changing history, making new
Well, shoot.
history, you know.
I was going
Yeah.
to say that it's like I said the last show is it's women that I see now that are taking on some of those roles. So when it comes to
Exactly.
being like the breadwinners in the house, it's women that I see that taking on some of these
Mm-hmm.
jobs that they normally wouldn't have to actually wouldn't
Exactly.
normally have to. But
Exactly.
not only
Yeah.
that, they just a lot of women back in the day stayed in that role that what you expected a woman to be or expected a wife to
Yeah.
be.
Right.
That's
So
what I said.
now
Right.
that we are um being I guess feminist is the right term, but being a feminist or
Yeah.
being someone who says I can do
Mm-hmm.
this and do that, I'm all for that. I think
Mm-hmm.
there needs to be a limit for everything that we do, because I
Right.
don't want women to be so uh independent almost that we disregard the need of a man. Since you said something
Exactly.
about
Yeah.
mentioning men and comparing that to women and stuff like that. But there are a few people. One of my friends, Brian, was saying, that he loves supporting his kings and, and his queens.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
do, I do like that. But, I don't want anybody to get so, anybody, either male or female, get so independent that they don't need the other half, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
And I think that's
it's
where
balance.
we.
We need structure and balance because we complement each other in so many ways, emotionally, socially, spiritually. So we can't do without the other. What
Right.
you say, Shannon?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a trust factor. I
Yeah,
really do
that part.
believe that some women and it had things happen in their lives where they really could not rely on a male counterpart for
Yeah.
Very true.
whatever
Yeah.
reason. So it's either
Wow.
you roll with it or get rolled over. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
Very, very
wow.
true.
You know,
Very true.
the
Wow.
children need to be fed. You need to feed yourself. You need to take care of yourself. And I think you know we can't say from experiences that we've had with the opposite sex that is everybody. That's
Hmm.
not fair.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's not fair.
Exactly.
But it's
But then,
Exactly.
hard when every person, and you're feeling every person that you've encountered, that you have personally dealt with, has done X, Y, and Z. Then I think you get a warped sense that it's everybody.
yeah.
And that's where we had a big disconnect with working together. I
Hmm.
Yeah.
definitely say a lot about working together, but I must trust you and we must trust each other
Hmm.
for us to do anything.
Hmm.
Exactly.
That's what I really promote and really want to see us as a people get back to, getting back together. You
Exactly.
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Exactly.
so yeah, yes, you had
Yeah.
said, Trayvon, that you don't want it to be where you feel like you don't have the need of a man,
Hmm.
but we got to see the good in each other and realize it's not
Absolutely.
everybody.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
unite and come back together
Hmm.
Yeah.
and unify and work
Yeah.
together.
Because that's what we're missing. That's what we're
Yeah.
That's
missing.
what we're
Yeah.
missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
miss the new comments that's coming in. Y'all already know I like to try
Yeah.
to get
Exactly.
to
Go
the comments
ahead.
as soon as they
Go
do come
ahead.
in.
Get to it. Get
Ariel
to it.
Glenn, of course, is in the building. So shout out to
Mhm.
Ari for stepping in. Y'all already
All
know our
right
love for
now.
her. So shout out to
All
Ariel.
right. All right,
Molly
Ari.
Robinson said, sad days when money, well, let me stop calling his name like I don't know him, but to those that don't know him. I hate saying his full
Yeah.
name like that, but Molly said, sad days when money determines your love for a person. And
Yeah.
that's all,
Yeah.
unfortunately, that you hear about. Think about it. You don't have, it doesn't matter what age range you're in. If you scroll any type of
Hmm.
TikTok or YouTube, you're gonna hear or see social platforms of people talking about, oh, he if he doesn't have six figures, okay, well,
Oh
this
my
is not
God.
back in the day. So
Wow.
there's no sugar daddies, there's no sugar mamas, because they can't nobody
Right.
afford to be that unless you already,
Hmm.
was on to something. But it's sad to see how people talk about each other.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
people that the same ones that have the nerve to put certain stipulations or rules, whatever, on the table. If you can't
Hmm.
bring those things to the table, you can't require or demand them.
True.
So
True.
that's my
Yes.
problem with that. If you can't put that on the table and offer it as a part of what you can add to the equation,
Hmm.
then what are we talking
Hmm.
about? But it's unfortunate, like Molly was saying, that our
Yeah.
how much money you have is equated to how much respect you get out in the streets, out in a business setting.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately.
Wow.
My
Yes.
friend
Wow.
Brian was saying, he said, but the way the world is set up now, it's impossible to break that curse. It's
Wow.
and it feels that way.
Yeah.
To be honest, because we have these
Hmm.
conversations and we talk about it. So if we're gonna discuss it, let's talk about all of that.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I think the
Yeah.
continued efforts, and I will say, like on YouTube, for instance, I'll take
Hmm.
a random example. You'll see a video that might be like a fighting video or something negative. I'm starting to
Hmm.
see a lot more people now actually comment on this stuff and say that they're tired of seeing these things. They want people to
Oh
stop
yeah.
posting these things. So
Yeah.
Oh
I
Yeah.
yeah.
do see more hope. That is not this system that is above our heads is not going to highlight anything like that. So I don't expect positive moments and positive
Hmm.
influences is to be put on the pedestal. That's not the way the system works. So we have to acknowledge and seek out, acknowledge, um, and promote those that we see that are doing anything. You know,
Absolutely.
I don't care
Absolutely.
on what scale it's on. It doesn't have to be somebody in front of a camera on a platform. It could be
Hmm.
somebody, your local barber. I know a few of them, that are doing works in the community. Anybody touching
Yeah.
Yeah.
anybody,
Yeah.
in a positive light, highlight them. Even if it's just in your story on Facebook. It doesn't have to be a
Hmm.
grand gesture, but do things because you want to do them, and that will help make the world continue to go around in the positive.
We
I think there's hope. I think there's hope.
there there is hope, but let me say this, Trayvon, about social media. Social media is so flawed. It has been far beyond just posting a few pictures. Now like you said, we have these hate platforms you know, to tell
Hmm.
the men to hate the women and the women to hate the men. You've seen that. And if you look at the comments, it's even worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's even worse. But maybe I'm mirroring what you just said.
which
But
is that's okay.
as long as we take that and we laugh at that, we use that as entertainment, someone's misery. We're
Hmm.
Yeah.
hateful on
Yeah.
things.
Which is
You know,
bananas. That's crazy.
the only
Yeah.
reason it's alive is because somebody's feeding into it. Multiple
Very,
people are
very
Exactly.
feeding
true.
into it.
Very true.
You know,
Exactly.
we have the power to demand whatever and put whatever we want of that stuff. So
Very true.
Exactly.
so as long as you view it, I had to look. I had to stop looking at I had so many of those things coming up on my timeline that I was
Hmm.
like, oh my God, not again.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
have to
How
filter
many
it.
ways?
Mm-hmm.
How many ways can we hate each other? How
I'm
many
telling
bad
you.
ways can we talk about? And then some of the stuff is just ridiculous. These are
Yeah.
Yeah.
skits.
Yeah.
People are doing skits. It's not even a
Exactly.
real scenario. It's a skit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
Yeah.
know, a lot of times. But you had mentioned something about money. You know, if you're not making enough money, some of that stuff is clickbait too.
Yeah.
You know that?
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
You know, for likes and all type of stuff. A whole skit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
have to we
Yeah.
have to do our best. A lot has been damaged, but to me, we have to do our best to try to reset the narrative. If there's
Very
a
true.
Yes.
collective of people
Yes.
that want
Yes.
positivity or something, or highlight positivity in
Yes.
something with
Mhm.
our community, period, then we have to do better
Yeah.
Exactly.
in demanding to see that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As long as you
Exactly.
don't feed into it, as long as you don't feed into it, you know,
Yeah.
it can't live.
Yeah.
Exactly. It
For
has to
those that
die.
So
are
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
those that
yeah.
are watching still, if you can, if you're still watching, you're in tune with it. Whether you're walking
Mhm.
around with the phone and you hear the audio, that's enough. But I would like for you to
Mhm.
comment, if not one female, one person that inspires you. You can give the reason too if you would like, but I
Yeah.
would love to see when we have people in here. I want to engage and I want to
Mhm.
hear from y'all. I don't want you to just to
Exactly.
Most
watch us.
definitely.
I don't want you just to listen. I mean, I'm okay with you just listening, but I would love you to comment and just stay up with the conversation. I want to hear from y'all just as
Yeah.
much as y'all probably want to hear from us for watching. So, comment one person,
Mhm.
whether it's a female, male, that you want to highlight and just kind of shout out for doing their thing, whatever their thing is.
Exactly. Yes,
Hmm.
yes. We want to honor them, and we honor you for even being aware of this
Mhm.
of us, because we're here putting it down, making people aware of the purpose of good mental health and what's
Hmm.
associated with good mental health, with mental wellness. So yeah, just to piggyback off of the financial factor, and also these huge platforms. Finance is a part of having a platform. People finance their platforms in so many different ways. The
Mhm.
problem is many times when people get into these huge platforms, they don't use it the right way. Then their mindset shifts already.
Hmm.
They have the mindset of, I don't know. Instead of working and pulling together with community leaders or whoever they need to pull together with, they right away they get heady, they get anxious, they get foolish. I just have to say they become foolish, and then they don't want to associate with smaller platforms, because that's where you start. You start at a smaller platform and you expand and you grow and develop, and that's what makes a community. When you start small and then you go big, and money shouldn't be the focus. The focus should be the message,
Bluetooth
and then
disconnected.
having the funds to 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 bring the message, because you everything has to be funded. What I'm saying is, when it comes to accountability and the growth process, and teaching each other how to trust each other, trust is really a heavy. It's so heavy. It's so heavy, and to have the mindset to break those generational curses by shifting the mind
Hmm.
set into different gear is key. I'm just saying. And
Hmm.
it's easiest, some people might say it's easier said than done. It's easier done than said, because as our opulent one said, collectively, and then associating uh, things with making the effort to break these generational curses of not working together, these generational curses of hatred,
Hmm.
generational curses of using each other for money gain. It's easy. It's easier done than actually being said, because the
Hmm.
more you do it, the more you find means and ways to break these things and not accept it. Just like we said, don't accept it. Don't accept the hoo-ha.
Hmm.
Don't accept the okey doke. When you start saying, listen, just stop it. What is our motto? Just stop it.
Just stop it.
Mhm.
Right. No
Just stop
excuses.
the mayhem.
Yeah,
No
no excuses.
excuses.
You know what
You
needs to
know,
Yes.
change.
exactly. We all need to change, even in the moment, from day to day, moment to moment, year to year, month to month. It has to happen so that we can make this world a better place. Now, it may happen one at a time, it may happen 10 at a time, 1,000 at a time, but it has to what? happen. Once it's
Hmm.
planted in the atmosphere, once it's planted in the spirit realm, once it's planted in the
Mhm.
physical, the everything comes together.
Hmm.
Now,
Yes.
the other part is patience, having the patience. Now that's where I got a problem
Mhm.
sometimes, is being patient. Because
Hmm. Me
sometimes the
too.
older I get, I don't know, my tolerance level in certain things is like mad low.
Hmm.
Now I'm good for like, I'll
Mhm.
go to 9 yards with you. I'll go to y'all, I'll go with you. But if it's stupid stuff, I'm like, I don't know. I'm just saying.
I think that I think the
However,
age part come with it. I think that, not to cutting
yeah,
you off, I'm just
I think
adding
it
to what you
does
were saying.
too.
I think the age part does come with it. I mean, after a while, you see the same things for
an
a certain amount of
experience.
years, and you're just
Yeah,
going to get tired of
experience.
going and seeing those things.
Yeah,
But honestly,
yeah.
Yeah.
I give it the
I think
I
it's
give the credit to
experience.
being tired of being tired.
Yeah,
Because I
and our
see
Mhm.
people,
alphas,
yeah,
yeah, our younger people, they tired of it. Our young
yeah.
folks is they're tired of the same old replicated stupidity that people feed
Mhm.
into, and a lot of times it's our people and people in general. So this is why we are here. This is why we're here to help change the narrative to all of that, to that part, and
Yeah.
and make sure that we recognize, because every experience is different, so we grow in our experiences and we grow together in those experiences. So tonight, from dress up to set up, we are highlighting our phenomenal ones, those in the house tonight. You guys are just popping, you guys are
Thank y'all
just
for
on
staying in here
point,
too. I
Yeah.
and
definitely
we
appreciate
Thanks.
that.
appreciate you
Feel
for
free to
that.
keep commenting and talking to us.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
And
you
we've
staying.
got some super women, of course, our own opulent one. And we've got some super women in the house tonight. Joy,
Yeah,
um,
Ariel's in here.
aka
Joy's in
Mhm.
V,
here.
and
Yeah.
Ariel, my baby daughter, and
Yes.
more. And I tell you, Asia Lee, my niece, Kiara, my other niece,
Mhm.
Ashley, my other niece, oh my God, Lacey, my other niece,
Yep.
all my nieces and my nephews. I don't want to leave them out because they are some phenomenal people. Tim Jr., all my nephews.
Mhm.
And more. Even my community leaders, we got some great people in the community. Latoya Joyner, she was our Congress. She was one of our community leaders, but a new person has come in. But she's phenomenal. Latoya Joyner, Black young woman, changed the trajectory, trailblazing, made new history kind of person
Hmm.
in New York City. And I tell you, I couldn't say enough about her. And you guys got some folks in each state that we could just pinpoint. And if you guys want to give a shout out, those who are in the house tonight and those who are listening, please share it with us. Anybody, females that you want to recognize,
Hmm.
and men that have been working with them, any nonprofits that you want to recognize. We have so many females in business. It's
Hmm.
bananas. Our Black women are
Mhm.
coming up in business. And I want to name one. We'd like to share one in particular. This young alpha, Marcia. I hope I'm
Hmm.
saying it right, Trey.
Marseille, yeah. Marseille Martin.
Marseille.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Marseille Martin is an example of Generation Alpha, young, gifted, and Black,
Yeah.
beyond her years. I got to say, you know what the seniors say? Old folks have a saying, "You've been here before."
Hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Meaning you are wise beyond your years, and you are operating in it. This is I call her daughter Martin. This is Queen Martin, and her father really is her father is also, he was instrumental in her success. She's an actress and producer as well. She became the youngest executive producer in the wood, in Hollywood's history. I call Hollywood the wood.
Shout out to Marseille.
um shout out, huge big ups to her. She challenged, what I like about her is she challenged those stereotypes and inspired young women to dream big. You know, we remember we used to ask our young people, okay, what do you want to be? What do you want to do when you grow up? But
Mhm.
these days, now you could say, you could ask our young people, our children, what do you want to be? What do you want to do now? They don't have to
Yeah.
wait until they grow up. They should be able to pinpoint what they
Yeah.
can do now and develop and grow big, go big with it as they get older, because they're going to
Mhm.
definitely need different streams of income. And I think that's where the dream gets big, because when you understand that you need different streams of income, then that's when the pulling together, that's when the
Mhm.
trust and things start to happen,
Mhm.
you know. And I think that that's where the generational curse will begin to break. I think
Mhm.
that those chains will begin to drop. So, with Queen Martin, her dad, again, he was instrumental to her success, and he played a significant role in her journey as well. So, big ups to our dads, big up to all dads who are making the difference in their little girls' lives. Big
Mhm.
ups to those who, maybe some girls, some women, maybe they didn't know their dad, maybe they didn't
Mhm.
have a chance to be with their dad or experience the dad factor,
Yeah.
like myself. I didn't have a chance to really experience I don't know what is the full blown relationship of having a dad. It was
Yeah.
temporary many times with my dad, because he he was a military person. He was a United States Vietnam vet, and
Mm.
anybody who's familiar with the history of Vietnam,
Mhm.
there's a whole lot of stuff going on there,
Oh
especially for a
yes.
black man and black
Mhm.
families.
Mhm.
So he was missing in action in the family after a while because of mental health issues. And
Mm.
we didn't know what it was. We didn't know what he was going through. We just thought that it was him, And this is what you said earlier, Opulent One, that
Mhm.
women had no choice but to, it's like fight or flight. They had no
Yeah.
choice but to fill so many different shoes because their men weren't there. Well, I have
Mhm.
to say too, some of our men weren't able to be there because of possibly mental health issues, because of medical issues, which
Yes.
separated the family. Families not being aware of what's going on with their loved ones and not having the kind of
Mhm.
support to even find out. Because if you ain't got the support, how would you know?
Very
So,
Mhm.
true.
not having
Yeah.
my dad in my life the way I thought he should have been, um, really made me just think differently. It made my
Mm.
mind shift to
Mm.
to being a different person, and to teaching my children and teaching other people's children just what it means to be a human. Because first you got
Mhm.
to be a human, and
Yeah.
then you play your role. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So once you know what it's like to be a human, it brings more meaning to your life and the lives of others as a woman. And when I became older and not having my father, um, and having the experience of having to advocate for him because of his mental health, my mom used to go and look for him because
Mm.
he had left home just like that, because
Mm.
he was fighting for his life, with mental illness. He left
Mhm.
home. My mom would go look for him sometime just to see how he was doing. And one day I just went with her because I was like, where did
Mhm.
she go so long? And I asked her, Mom, can I go with you? She's sure.
Yeah.
And when I went with her, I almost fell on the floor when I saw the situation my dad was in. I almost
Mhm.
fainted because
Mhm.
he was living in, and I share this with uh not with malice. I share this with experience for those who are passing through they believe a point of no return when it comes to trust, because
Mhm.
this is the
Yeah.
point that leads to trust, is what I'm saying. And when I saw my dad was in an abandoned building. We before Harlem was revitalized as it is. In Harlem, there used to be like a bunch of brownstones that were abandoned, and people were able to
Yeah.
just purchase it at the drop of a hat. But anyway, he was living
Yeah.
from place to place. He was living in the streets, and he was living in this abandoned brownstone, and the walls were covered with newspapers, and he had all these candles and things in the room. And I tell you, the room could have went up like a match because,
Yeah.
and it was super cold. It was like the coldest winter at the time. And I said, oh my God. And I knew right away that he needed help, but I didn't know how to help him. And my mom, and I didn't understand the attachment between my mom and my dad until I got older. And
Yeah.
it wasn't just
Understood.
because I was their daughter. It was just, it was so um intense, the relationship. I couldn't understand it, but I did as I got older. So anyway, as I got older, I used to see him sometimes living under boxes, living under bridges, living in
Wow.
places where a man who gave me life was not supposed to be. So as time went on,
Yeah.
Mm.
I started, as time went on, one point I hated him. At one point I hated him. So I heard Shannon say earlier, why do we hate each other? That hate, people just initiate that hate because of lack of understanding and lack of the mind not shifting to the right place. So when
Mm-hmm.
I went one day, I just stopped. I said, why would I hate somebody who helped me to be here? I said, first of all, he's a United States veteran who suffered so many atrocities at the hands of the government. Why in the world would I need to hate him? So I stopped hating him and started looking into the situation. And
Yeah.
then I began to think and take heart that, listen, every year, every winter, I would think even more intensely about him because it's winter. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew he was somewhere living under a bridge, somewhere living
Mm.
under a box and of the sort. So one day I started praying for him and started seeking out answers to find him. And one day I did find him. One day we got a call, the family got a call that he had acquired some services from homeless services and for veterans, and they picked him up, gave him a place to stay. He started getting medical attention, he started getting funds and things, so his life could come together and he could live
Mm-hmm.
out his elderly years, like a human being. And I found out where he lived. Me and my family, we went to see him. And I tell you, the joy, right? Joy, the joy that I felt
Right.
to find my dad, and he accepted the joy. He said he was glad to see us and he was sorry for everything that happened. And at the time when I did see him, my mom had already passed and his
Mm.
mother had already passed, and we had to break the news to him.
Mm.
And it was, I tell you, a pivotal moment. And from that time on, I was just so grateful, that my attitude had changed. My
Mm-hmm.
mind had shifted and changed, and I began to change everything else in my life when it came to trust and understanding what it means to be a human being, understanding what it means to be accountable and to
Mm-hmm.
have the kind of support,
Accountability. That's what we talk about.
accountability,
So that's what matters. Yeah,
accountability,
we that's what we
and
talk about.
support. So that's why I shared this story tonight. It
Yeah.
matters. It matters when you're talking about change. You got to put that microscope on yourself, and then others, will become the collectively. They'll be like, okay, yeah, that's me too. What do we do to change? What
Yeah.
can we do to make a difference? Because I made a huge difference after that. That thing made me a far better person that I could have
Yeah.
ever been by myself. I could have never done that
Yeah.
by myself. And
Yeah.
this is what made me come to this place today, my dad and my youngest son.
Mm.
So it's because of those two people in my life and all my children and other people's children, other people's experiences, collectively,
Accountability. Mm-hmm.
accountability and supporting the mindset and inspiring people to just what? Just do it
Just
and just
stop it.
stop it and just
Just
stop
stop
the
it.
other
Yeah.
stupidness, and learn the roles that we play are equally important, even if they change,
Mm-hmm.
even if those roles change. And that's a good thing. change. Some people, they have a hard time with changing, and their expectations are super low.
Hmm.
Change with high
Mhm.
expectations that are realistic. They
Shoot,
got to
I
be
give the
real,
glory
real
to
time.
I
I
give the
get that
Yeah.
glory to
too.
people that that stick their necks out there and investigate what they didn't know.
Yeah.
So when it comes
Exactly.
to a
Oh.
parent, it comes to a family member, things that you didn't find out, luckily or hopefully when you get older, and you're in the position to be able to like have those conversations, maybe you'll be able to fill in
Yeah.
those gaps. But I encourage anybody to still investigate past what you think of whatever parent or mom or guardian or father or whatever it is,
Oh,
whatever your
yes.
situation is. I encourage anybody to push past that because you don't know. So
You
You
don't
sometimes
have
you
know.
do need to
to.
fill in the gap.
What
Yeah,
do I
sometimes you need to
know?
fill in the gaps for
You have
Exactly.
yourself.
to.
Speaking
Because
of
you
women,
can
Exactly. What
get,
do I
I'm
know?
sorry, you can
yeah,
you can
speaking,
really get 10 different stories
yeah,
about what
Uh-huh.
went on and your
what
perception of
transpired. Hmm.
what transpired, and a lot of times we weren't even there, but we were
Hmm.
going based
Exactly.
on somebody that we trusted. But
Hmm.
but
Right.
what I'm hearing you saying is we all have to do some soul searching, and we have to do some
Some
self
legwork.
evaluation
Hmm.
and take
Yeah.
accountability for
Hmm.
Yeah.
ourselves and say, all right, maybe I need to rethink this thing different.
Let me
Maybe
put it back
Mm-hmm.
up
maybe I
there.
need to look at it through
Accountability.
different
Yeah.
through different lenses, because you can't assume anything. You know how bad off we would have been if we did not, do those things, and we did not
Yeah.
look into it ourselves, and we just based it off of
Exactly.
what somebody had said. And this
Yeah.
is no disrespect to you in any way, but I just want to say this. You know, there could have been 20 different stories, and you could
Right.
have hated your father based on what somebody else
Hmm.
said,
Yeah,
and you
Exactly.
don't know
Exactly.
anything.
yeah.
You
About it.
know, you give people enough grace, and you find out,
Yeah.
because that person that, I'll say it again, that person that told you
Hmm.
may have hated his guts, so they're
Right.
not
Yeah.
going to paint him in the best light, or
Right.
that
Right.
person
Exactly.
in the best light. What exactly is going on?
Hmm.
Right. Right.
That's like that person at a job telling you, hey, don't trust Mary. Your first thing,
Oh,
Yeah.
I
the
wouldn't trust
gossip
her.
queens.
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh. The
wouldn't
gossip
trust her
queens.
if you did. But you have to
Mm-hmm.
look at it like this. Why? For one, why are you? I'm perfectly capable of finding it out. I'll keep that in my back pocket now.
Hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
perfectly capable of finding out what is it. So you're coming to me for what?
Hmm.
You're
Right.
telling me
Right.
something negative about somebody for what? What do you
Yeah.
gain
Right.
from that?
You gotta have that.
Now, like I said,
You gotta have that level of
absolutely.
discernment to
Yes, you
know
do.
Discernment.
that
Let
people
me
Yeah,
have
you
find out
do.
intention behind.
myself. Let
Yeah.
me find
Exactly.
out
About that
myself.
person. Then
Let me
I'll.
make an
Exactly.
assessment,
Yeah.
because you might be spreading vicious rumors because you just don't like them.
You just don't like
Exactly.
them. You got a motive
Exactly.
behind it.
Period.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
One thing I do
Exactly.
want to
Let
highlight
it be
though.
some type of observation on a
Yeah.
regular, and then make the determination,
Hmm.
collectively, individually. And that's what trailblazers do. Trailblazers,
Hmm.
they
Yeah.
challenge the norms and disrupt industries. They
Hmm.
disrupt that
Mhm.
gossip industry.
Oh yeah.
Trailblazers, I mean, whether it's technology, art, social change, they inspire people to think boldly and to
Hmm.
go where nobody's ever been before, and
Hmm.
change and make history. It's the social impact and outcome. And just like you said earlier, opulent one, about the media, the media can break you or
Yeah.
take you.
Hmm.
Right
It can
Hmm.
break
now.
you or take you. It's the approach. Is how much of
Yeah.
how much of it you accept, and how much of it is unacceptable, socially
Hmm.
unacceptable, and
Hmm.
how much of it contributes to making a better world. And so, as I
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, we're all trailblazers. Every
Hmm.
single one of us
Oh
are
yes.
trailblazers. We really are. And we honor
Excuse me.
the efforts in changing the narrative. We honor every effort, no matter. To me, I have to say, whether it's small, whether it's huge, it's the impact. It's like the
Mhm.
mustard seed. The mustard seed generates very quickly, It germinates, should I say, very quickly, and then it grows into this huge tree for multi purposes. That's us. That's
Yes.
us. That's
That
humankind.
part.
So yeah. So we honor all women who have stepped up from the dress up.
Mhm.
Right.
Who
Whoever
have
you are,
stepped
wherever
up
you
from the
That's
are.
like
dress up.
wherever you
Whoever you
are.
are, wherever you
Right.
are. All right. So, so
Yes.
listen, keep lifting it up. Keep lifting it up. And we want to hear from our guys too. We want to hear from our men. We got the pit stop on Wednesday. I had a little idea that to bring for the guys to come in on Wednesday and talk about this. How have you lifted up certain women in your lives, and who are those women? Pop through, pass through to the pit stop. Trey, tell us about the pit stop.
Well, y'all already know. For those that tune in, y'all already know what's going on with us on Wednesdays. We are doing our quote unquote mental health check in. This is a quick little stop, just for a quick interaction, just like it's called the pit stop. I named it the pit stop
Yes.
because the same as a pit stop, they do what they need to do. They come in, do what they need to do, and they go. So this is just for Wednesdays is for exposure, more videos, more content, kind of a recap between Sundays to let you know what we had what we had going on our previous Sunday, what's going on the next Sunday. Um, yeah, it's just a quick stop for you to catch our vibe and see what we're talking about, seeing the topics of discussion. So we're working on true engagement. Thank you for those that stayed in as long as you did. As y'all hear, the music is rolling,
Absolutely.
so y'all already know we wrapping it up. But thank y'all for staying the
Yeah.
whole time. So shout
Yes.
out to Brian, shout out to Molly for being two men that I know that are around my age range that are doing great work as fathers. But I'm trying to
Mhm.
reach out to more people like this because
Yes.
there is
Yes.
good people, there is good women around here. There are good women around here. So I wanted to shout out
Exactly.
to Ariel, shout out to Joy Joy, Malik Bay for
Yes.
stopping in, my friend Brian, Kenneth Clark, of course, for stopping in. Yeah, it's just for you to catch our vibe. That's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
One thing that you already know I had to do, which is read the disclaimer. I got to bring that up.
Yes.
We always got to cover that before we roll out.
Yes.
As a friendly JTI disclaimer, I wanted to say the information in this video is not intended nor implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. All content is to be considered as such. So all text, all graphics, whatever blurbs, whatever information we put up, we are only mental health advocates. We are not mental health professionals. So we do not want you to take our advice as a dismissal of any doctors or any physicians or anyone that you would
Yes.
normally speak to about whatever situation you have going on. We are only here to stop you from hitting the end of the road. We're trying to catch you before you feel like you have met your lowest of lows. We're trying to catch you while you're up. We're trying to be
Exactly.
universal. So we want to, give you true love, true support, true transparency. We've been more than transparent on this platform so far. So if you were to
Yes.
go on our YouTube link, and I'll start dropping the YouTube link at the bottom in the future, but if you go to our YouTube link,
Yes.
you'll see previous videos of different takes that we've had on different aspects of our life that have been darker, ones that the
Yeah.
average person wouldn't want to highlight or wouldn't want to mention. So
Yeah.
we're all about love in here. We're all about being
Exactly.
real. Like a professor says, like my mom says, like we all say, it's just stop it. Just stop it. Why?
Exactly.
Because we're stopping. It's time to just stop it. Everything that you know we need to improve. Everything you know
Yes.
we need to do better on. Everything you
Yes,
know is a
Trey.
problem for the communities that we're in. We're telling us ourselves and you to just stop it. So that's
Yes.
the pit stop 7:30
Most
to 8.
definitely.
Our normal shows, which is kind of our main show, I would consider, is Sundays from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, that's what it is. That's the JTI friendly
Absolutely.
disclaimer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you
Definitely.
so much, Trey Wiz. That's our
Thank you, Brian, for coming back.
Wiz.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ariel. I appreciate
Absolutely.
y'all. Brian said he's
Absolutely.
coming
We love
back.
y'all.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Yes.
Brian. We
And then
welcome
Molly
you.
said to
We
you,
welcome everybody.
Molly said to you that that's growth. He gave you the little arm emoji and the heart saying that your
Thank
journey and
you.
everything that you
Much
came
love.
Yeah.
through with your dad, that's growth.
Oh, wow.
So
Much
it's
love. Much
transparency.
love.
Can't
Yes,
get no more
Much
realer
indeed.
than
love.
this.
Much
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
So it's
Absolutely.
all love.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Much love. Much love. And
hmm
I want to give a last shout out to Joe.
Of course.
He's like, we call him King Joey. Oh man, Joe has been there. He's been there. He's been in the trenches. And I love you, Joe. That's my oldest son.
Mm-hmm.
And I love all my children. They know it. It's just, for our
Mm-hmm.
male children, it can be a huge challenge. But he's been there. And I
Thank you,
can't say
Molly.
but.
Thank
They
you.
have been there. They've been there for their mama, and they've been there for many others.
That's
And
what
I
matters.
love you like no
Absolutely.
other, as God does. Love you, Ari. Love you, EJ, my grandbaby.
Of
Yeah,
King
course,
yeah.
EJ.
the King
Yo,
EJ. He is the
yo,
prince in the making, soon to be
King
king of this
I
movement.
tell
yo,
Yeah,
ya.
let's
I
continue to
can't
talk.
I can't wait to see what he's gonna be up to.
exactly. Go ahead,
Sorry.
mommy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Let's continue to talk. Let's continue to grow. And
Mm-hmm.
let's continue
Exactly.
to be transparent. I don't
Yes.
believe that we will be able to fix anything, and I'm about solution.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If we do not talk and we're not honest about what's going on and what we need to fix, where
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
are at mentally,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
we want, all of those things. And I just want to say, thank everybody, from all of us for coming through. You could have definitely been
Yes.
anywhere, but you were here with us. We need
Yes.
to all vibe together.
That part.
Please,
Yes.
please,
Straight
we
vibing.
we always encourage, and I can probably maybe speak for y'all too.
You
We
can.
always
You
try to
can.
encourage,
Yes,
leave,
opulent one.
please leave your comments. Please leave
Critiques,
what you want to talk
concern.
about.
Yep.
Your
Subjects you want to hear.
concerns, input. We want to hear
Yes.
from you.
Yes.
We
We have
love
to.
it to
Yes.
hear,
We
but
must.
that's how we all get that discussion going.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Comment,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
comment.
Yes.
But thank
Yes.
you all so much, and I just
Absolutely.
appreciate you.
Of
Absolutely.
course.
Have the best rest of your day, best rest of your night and week. And we'll see you at the pit stop. And
know
if
that's
not,
right.
we'll see you next Sunday. And we have
Yeah.
you in mind always. Much love, joy, and peace.
Hey. All right, y'all.
Bye.
Y'all stay
All
on the
right.
screen. I'll take y'all off one by one. Don't worry about touching
All
anything.
right.
I'm going to take y'all off the screen one by one. But
All
thank
right.
y'all. It was a
All
great
right.
show.
Smooches.
We stayed up. The
Smooches,
same views that
JTI.
came in from the beginning are the same ones that stayed all the way into the end. So this is the first time that
Absolutely.
every single person has stayed in there, and then
Absolutely.
some more towards the end.
Yeah.
So I appreciate all the love. Like I
Yes.
said,
Huge
7:30
big ups.
from 7:30 to 8 is the pit stop shows. That's on Wednesdays, Eastern Standard Time. Just Stop It is on Sundays from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So y'all, like you said, like my mama said, that's my mama, y'all. That's my
Yeah.
dog. No,
Absolutely.
but y'all make sure that y'all let us know comments, critiques, concerns, things you want to hear discussed, because we can do this ourselves, but we'd rather do it with y'all. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so thank
We
y'all for the
must.
love.
We must.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Yes,
Tell a
y'all.
Absolutely.
friend.
Yes,
Tell a friend. Tell a
JTI.
friend.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And share it because you want to share it. Last note is to share it because you want to share it. Like it because
Yeah.
you want to like it. Talk about it with
Yeah.
somebody else because you want to talk about it with somebody else. Not just because we're telling you
Exactly.
to like, share, and subscribe. I want you to want to do it. So
Absolutely.
it was a great
Take it
show,
to your
y'all.
community leaders. Take it up
Of course.
take it up to the top, to the community
Exactly.
leaders, because we
Exactly.
need to see them locally and globally on a level. They need to know.
That this
Just
is going
stop it.
on.
Yeah.
Different things are going on. Different
Mhm.
people are trying it. So great show,
Yeah.
y'all. I'm gonna wrap this
Yes.
up. Don't worry about
All
taking
right
yourself
now.
to screen. Just sit there for a moment, and I'll take you off
In a
myself.
while.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right,
All
y'all. In a
Bye,
while.
Tata.
Hey, mommy. See you
Bye,
later.
Trevon. See you later.
All right. All right, y'all. Thank you. Good night.